Okay, so there's a claim that Hamas is going to be disarming. There's going to be some peace force made up of several countries going into Gaza, helping to rebuild. All a bunch of horseshit. The ideal scenario is that the Gazans go elsewhere, being that the world is all up in arms about it, that it's their land, yada, yada, yada. Quite frankly, I don't care. You committed October 7th, you got to go. That's the best alternative. But if they're going to stay, Israel needs to annex the territory. They can give them residency, not citizenship. And if they fuck around, they're going to find out. They fucked around already. But you know how Israel succumbs to pressure and is overly merciful to a fault. So we're going to listen to this Al Jazeera. We're going to listen to this video from Al Jazeera going into what the supposed Trump plan is. You know, supposedly he announced a settlement for Gaza. What's going to be? So before we get into it, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe right now. Leave your comments, and you can follow me at Rafi the Realtor on Instagram for all of your real estate needs in the Miami and greater South Florida area. And you can donate to the channel by going to the Buy Me a Coffee link in the pinned comment or description. Any donations would be so greatly appreciated. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to Al Jazeera. We're going to bring you some breaking news. The US President Trump says the border peace has reached a new agreement for the complete disarmament of Hamas and other armed groups in Gaza. He posted on Truth Social saying the agreement will be carried out in carefully structured phases. As armament is completed, Israeli forces will withdraw and the international stabilization forces will work with a new Palestinian police force to take responsibility for Gaza being safe and for its residents and its neighbors. This is a major milestone in the implementation of the Trump 20-point plan. Well, we can now cross to our correspondent, our chief US correspondent, Alan Fisher, who joins us live from the White House. Alan, thank you for taking time to talk to us so quickly, because this has come off the back of Trump's meeting with Netanyahu. He's been massively involved in this. What more do we know about the plan?
Well, let's talk about what we know and what we have learned before this announcement. Donald Trump obviously very keen to claim the credit for the Board of Peace. A lot of negotiation was going on with the Egyptians, the Turks and the Qataris. They were talking to Hamas. There had been some obstacles in getting them to a point where they were ready to sign on to this, but it was made clear that financially things were going to get much more difficult for Hamas, that funding structures could be scrapped. There was definitely international pressure on Hamas to accept this. Now, it was all discussed at the Oval Office when Donald Trump met Benjamin Netanyahu just a couple of days ago, but the Israelis expressed their concern. They said they were worried about how this would actually work, and they weren't entirely sure that Hamas would stick to the agreement. So this is going to be a sector-by-sector arrangement. As the sectors are cleared and disarmed, then more and more Palestinian police officers will be put to work. They'll work in association with an international coordination force, the makeup of which hasn't yet been cleared, but we've heard rumours that it could involve the likes of the Indonesians and possibly even the Turks, something that the Israelis might not be keen on, nothing that the Turks have ever confirmed either. And all of this will be overseen by Tony Blair. The intention is that Gaza will move towards the technocratic government that was promised in the 15-point peace plan to end the war in Gaza. Now, this isn't going to happen overnight. They're hoping to get a signing, hopefully within the next couple of days, but clearly there's a lot of work still to be done. And then there'll be a lot of pressure on the ground to implement this with the disarming of sector by sector using Palestinian police officers. That the intention is that they will be security cleared by Shin Bet, the Israeli intelligence service, and then put to work. And also there will be a level of amnesty for people in Gaza to hand over their weapons and get some money. Of course, what they need to do is start the rebuilding of Gaza, and this is a first step in that process.
Well, Alan, sources have actually told Al Jazeera now that Hamas has agreed to the deal, but we're still waiting, obviously, for an official statement. Can you remind us then of the structure of the Board of Peace? Who's participating and to what extent they're involved?
Well, of course, this was Donald Trump's big idea that would run in parallel with the United Nations, and many countries paid up the billion-dollar fee to join and be part of effectively a lifetime membership. But as much as it's being dressed up as a Board of Peace initiative, this has really been driven by three nations: Egypt, Qatar and Turkey. They were part of it. Now, they are part of the Board of Peace. Donald Trump wants to suggest that his team played a significant part in that, and we will certainly hear that over the coming days. And we should get more details from the White House in the next few minutes. They're intending to hold a briefing call that will give us a few more details of what actually is planned. But clearly Donald Trump is claiming this as the first significant victory for the Board of Peace, which to a degree has been widely derided, because no sooner after it was established in a big ceremony here in Washington, D.C. at the Board of Peace headquarters, than Donald Trump launched a war with Iran. And that is also going to be an issue for him as well, as he is concentrating on the war in Gaza and implementing the 15-point peace plan. People are asking the question, what about Iran, and are we going to get a peace deal there? What are you doing about that?
Thank you very much, Alan. Hopefully we'll come back as soon as we get more information. Thank you for your time. But let's now bring in our colleague Noor Ode. She joins us live from Ramallah in the occupied West Bank. Noor, thank you for talking to us. Has had in the sort of the change we've now seen in terms of Hamas sort of in theory sitting down to negotiate.
Well, I mean, Hamas had a lot of tough choices to make, and none of them were palatable. None of them were the best case scenario. Voting for new leadership was very important.
Abiding by just the very basic steps it was supposed to take under the 20-point plan, which is the surging of aid, allowing people to come and go across the borders, reconstruction to start happening. None of that is happening, and so all the concessions that are being made, all the steps that have been taken, are on the Hamas side. And I think it's been reluctant to take those steps without Israel meeting its obligations. But as the situation just deteriorates and Israel doesn't move, and nobody's forcing it to do so, Hamas has taken a further step by a further step in order to get the process moving. So that's where we are today.
And also, Omar, so what do you think that disarmament will mean in practice? You have hinted at the fact that there's a lot of good faith being shown from the Hamas side, but in practice, what would disarmament mean? Would this change now what was initially outlined?
Well, I mean, again, we don't have a lot of clarity over the exactness or of what that term entails. There is provisions within that to disarmament and somebody going in there and taking those guns away.
Yep. Well, I hope Israel doesn't agree to end up doing this, but sadly, my gut feeling is telling me they probably will, which will be another fucking dumb mistake by Israel, because what do we know? We're so smart, we're stupid. So we're going to allow other enemies to take control of Gaza and give the guns to some other stupid, like, we're just kicking the can down the road. We just lost a whole bunch of people. I mean, thousands of Gazan lives, Israeli soldiers, Israeli civilians. I mean, I'm so tired of this bullshit already. Like, you think the Gazans aren't gonna find some way to send rockets back into over Israeli towns again? Maybe it'll take a little bit of time, but they'll be doing it. They're gonna build tunnels. They're gonna do some bullshit. Like, it's a given. And the Israeli government knows this, but like, they're just gonna give in, just gonna cower. Let's see what happens. I don't know. I'll choose to have faith. I'll choose to have faith. Who knows? We need an Israeli leader who's just gonna get the job done already. Like, it's just fucking tired of it. I'm so tired of it. Like, if the Gazans stay, it needs to be under Israeli rule. There's nothing else to be said. There's nothing else to be said. The only way they're going to cooperate and have peace with us is if we force them to. Is if we say, you ain't getting to Palestine, it ain't happening. Get over the idea. We rule this whole damn thing. You want to live here? Live in peace with us, and we'll be good to go. If you can't do that, we go to war or you get the hell out. That's it. There's nothing else to talk about. With that said, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments. Follow me, Rafi the Realtor, for all of your real estate needs in the South Florida area. And you can support the channel by going to the Buy Me a Coffee link in the pinned comment or description. Until next time, peace.